My name is Jacob Swanson. This is my interpersonal communication project for Liberty University, Human Service Counseling 508. My overarching goal is to communicate with other people in a way that is open, while encouraging them that their own feelings and thoughts are being heard. Personally, I strive to be a respectful and supportive talker and attentive listener while always reflecting on the kindness and love that people have to offer. What is an enlarging? What is enlarging the conversation? To me, enlarging the conversation is something that can be defined as maintaining an honest and open line of communication. I think if without that open line of communication, then that person that we're sitting down and talking to isn't going to feel as comfortable as they should be. It allows us to each participate and to be seen and heard one at a time. This creates a more effective line of communication as well, utilizing methods and techniques that maximize the benefits of both talking and listening. A little bit of background on me. I am 28 years old. I grew up in a loving home. Both parents were present up until my early 20s. I was born in Germany, mostly raised in Pennsylvania, moved around to Virginia, and then to Las Vegas, where I inevitably joined the Army. I'm currently living in Northern Virginia once again. I'm married since December 3rd, 2010. So I just had my 8th year anniversary. Been in the Army for the past 10 years. I've completed my bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies and pursuing a master's in human service counseling. I have 3 children, ages 5, 4, and 2, currently all girls, and we're also expecting twin boys in the spring, so that's going to be exciting. So the behavioral blend, breaks down into 4 different categories. So for the active, it's more task-oriented, people-oriented, passive, people-oriented as well, and passive is also people-oriented. So with the blend breakdown, it's primary task-oriented, passive, but I'm not afraid to speak up when needed. I do like to sit back and see what other people have to offer when it comes to communication. I'm a good listener, and so, but I'm not afraid to step in when needed. I feel that it's important to do so. I think basic motivation is key when talking to these people, and also when listening, because if somebody's not motivated to do something, then in turn they're not going to have that drive to continue on as well. I enjoy interacting with individuals. I am an outgoing person, but I think when it comes down to larger groups, I tend to sit back and just observe a little bit more and be present and like I said, chip in when needed. I'm very prideful on being stable, consistent, and steady. I'm very passionate when it comes to other people. Like I said, I'm very willing and like to go that extra mile for somebody that is in need. So barrier number 1 is appropriate self-disclosure, revealing a balance of positive and negative factors rather than leaning toward only one or the other. I think it's important to understand that there's always going to be more than one way to accomplish something. So to limit yourself just to one, I think can be hindering. It's allowing to focus on the present and the facts that emotion towards in the current situations instead of dwelling on the past. I think when people dwell on the past too much, it's going to just create a more down environment for that person. So it's always good to look forward and remember what happened in the past, but not let that define you. The second barrier is the problem is words breeding resistance. I believe the remedy for that would, avoiding using words such as unreliable, pushy, emotional, impatient, and rude. I think those words just tend to turn people off, and nobody wants to be, described as those adjectives. And also trying to focus on the task that's at hand, and more on the effort of a person's words rather than just seeing what it is that they're saying. It's about feeling and actually understanding what they have to say. The third barrier problem would be relying solely on a fact or emotion rather than creating a balance between them while communicating. I think that's pretty key, because the conversation isn't going to want to be one-sided. You want to have your opinions be heard, and also more importantly have their feelings and emotions being heard as well. I think the remedy for that is alternating between the feelings, such as the stomach or the head or the facts. And in order to create a more well-balanced and effective communication, you need to be able to go between one and the other, rather than sole emotion and sole facts. To improve listening skills, I think it's understanding is the importance of listening. Without the understanding of listening, then nobody's going to actually do the listening properly, and they're gonna hear rather than actually understand what's being said. Wanting to listen to someone else, if you're not in tune with what somebody has to say, then a lot of times people just kind of discredit everything that's coming into their head. Planning ahead and to remove external distractions. So external distractions, everything that's going to be going on around you, can be a hindrance on where it is that you're trying to move forward to. Being patient is key. Patience is going to keep that person humble and also not get down when something isn't going their way specifically. Keeping an open mind is going to allow somebody to have new ideas, fresh ideas, and not just be closed-minded on one thing. Practice critical thinking is always going to benefit somebody's mental capacity, because without that critical thinking, someone's never going to be tested. They have to be able to overcome some sort of objections within their life, because not everything is going to go their way. Some internal noise, an example, is hearing what you want, bias listening, green flag words, or emotion, physical barriers. I think a solution to that is clarifying technique, understanding your bias and previous experiences. Be honest about your emotional tendencies. Focus on a topic one at a time, and maintain a consistent listening level at all times. Some external noise, example would be loud noises. If it's hot or cold in a room, different interruptions, could be children or somebody at the door, deadlines at work, or just pressures from work, and even doodling or fidgeting when you're trying to do some sort of work. I think a solution to that, not holding things while you're listening, looking them in the eye, understanding what is being said, focus on what they're saying to you, and even become an effective talker as well. An action plan would be to identify times when I'm getting impatient or frustrated while communicating, talking, or listening. Practicing the clarifying techniques for recognizing and responding to emotions and other techniques in order to minimize internal and external noise pollutions. In summary, so we've gone over my overarching goal, background, behavioral blend, barriers, interpersonal context, internal and external noise pollution, and my plan of action. That concludes my video for this project. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.